you guys doing? This is William Myers, Mantis Outdoors, back with you with another video. And in today's video, we're going to do a knife review on a knife that Chris hooked me up with. It's a pretty sweet knife. I really haven't done very much with it. This is kind of like a rough first look impression, but it's the Condor Huron. So stay with me. Alright, so like I said, this is a rough first look. So as a first look, let's go ahead and check out the complete package here. It comes with a really nice knife, obviously from El Salvador. Condor makes some really good products that I've been pretty impressed with in the past, so I'm pretty faithful about this knife itself. So let's go ahead and look at the knife. And I can tell you the first thing that I don't like, that I just absolutely think is not necessary, is this stuff right here. It's aesthetics. People like it. If you like it, that's fine. Not a huge fan of it, but it really doesn't get in the way of the performance of the knife, so I'm not too worried about it. It's not going to create a hot spot, I don't think. Maybe a little one, but we'll be alright. So nice little sweep to it, kind of like maybe a nice little point there, like a little bit of a drop point maybe. Nice, absolutely ripping sharp spine. Nice pins are set. Let's go ahead and check out the ferro rod here. Oh yeah, it's a ferro rod destroyer. Nice. Alright, so let's get this on some wood, get some cuts with it, see what we can do. Alright, so our normal test, we're going to make a big stick into some little sticks first, and then we'll do other things with those little sticks. So let's go ahead and start out. Yeah, this would be about the max diameter stick that I'd play with as far as breaking it down with this knife. Don't want to go too far. Nice little maple here. Alright, so one thing that I really do like about this knife is that there's no like finger guards or aggressive choils or anything like that. When my hand chokes up on the throat, it is directly in contact almost with the blade, and that allows me to get a lot of control up here. I kind of wish that maybe the blade would actually reach down a little bit further. I mean, this is a lot of wasted space here, and if you could see, where this is pretty symmetrical, but it comes all the way up to here to where the blade actually meets. So, maybe Condor is watching, maybe they could sharpen this down a little bit more, come down a little bit more, But that being said, we could just always come up a little bit more. And that just gives me the control that I want when I'm carving, taking meat out of the woods for like spoons and things like that, traps and things like that. Let's just go ahead and get a little, let's get a chisel point on this for, like, say maybe a finger 4 or something like that. So we'll make a chisel point up here. Pretty aggressive blade. That belly takes a lot of meat out really quickly.
I think all I've done is power stropped it since I have used this.
Yeah.
I haven't had to really sharpen it.
Well, it's pretty good. I just keep checking my point up here. So we got pretty much a chisel point now. So if we wanted like maybe a Paiute deadfall or something like that, this would be a good start to it. Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of wood really quickly. The design is very ergonomical. I don't have to put a lot of force into this, which is good for me. That means that the tool's doing the work. I'm not really powering into this stuff or anything like that. I'm just letting the tool do the work for me. Taking big slivers. Let's get some more finer stuff. I just wanted to take a little bit of wood off for some detailed work. Very nice.
It's Joe Flowers' design.
It's not stuttering on the wood too much. It's pretty smooth. And when I say stuttering, when you see like a bunch of chips down the wood, that's stuttering. And that's not really what I want. But this is pretty good. It's not doing very much stuttering at all, which is going to give me a nice clean product when I'm done. So like if I'm making like a spoon or something like that, I'm not going to have to do like a ton of sanding afterwards to make the product look really clean. So that's ideal for me. A lot of that is the knife, some of it's the wood, but a lot of it comes down to your edge and control, things like that. Very nice. Alright. Alright, so when I was talking about, you know, the throw of the knife actually not really intruding on the blade and stuff like that, this is what I'm talking about, is for really detailed work. You know, I know you guys seen feather sticking 1.5 million times, but it's what I do to see what the blade can do as far as work that's going to take, you know, an hour or two, you know, carving, stuff like that. Stuff that we really don't have time to show you guys on film. You know, I'm not going to sit here and carve a spoon on camera. But getting close to my work, as close as possible with my index finger, allows me to have the control and the power that I really need to do that finite work. Get those really fine feathers. You know, and you know, feather stick, it's been proven, you know, one stick fires, things like that. You know, it's a skill to have.
Well, I just can't get used to these crazy birds they have out here in the wild wilderness. It makes they sound like kids. It's almost like you're in a metro park or something.
Yeah, well, when you bring 50 kids with you. Yeah, I brought my kids with me, so if you guys are hearing kids in the background yelling and screaming, they're mine. So, you know, we're kind of getting ready for, you know, to light this up, and Chris was like, well, no, show doing a one stick fire or something like that. So I'm just kind of getting as many feathers on this as I can. Getting some fine stuff going here. Alright, so let's do some work with the spine here. I just want to clear some bark off here. You know, I could very easily do it with the blade, but why do that when I could save the edge and just kind of do it with the spine? That's kind of the beauty of having a spine like this. You know, if I want to do a little minor task like removing the bark or shaving the bark off of something or something like that. I'm even taking meat from the wood off here. Yeah, that's just what, you know, people all the time ask me, like, well, why do I care about a spine, you know, being sharp and stuff like that. That's one of the reasons. Plus, you know, getting like tender fluff and things like that.
Yeah, it's not just about a ferro rod.
You know,
that right there.
You know, that's the beginning of my fire right there. Feather sticks, on up, on up, on up, on up. Can't get a fire started with this stuff. There's something wrong.
You must be Chris Tanner.
You must be. Alright, so I want to get back to the blade here itself, do some notches and things like that, and I want to use the belly of that to do those notches. This is really going to sink in really well. Do some good notching. I guess I'll do like a square notch. It's one of the basic notches that I do because it does a lot. It allows me to do like figure fours and things like that.
Let me clamp my monopod here so my Parkinson's doesn't mess up the video.
Parkinson's. We'll ease back on the caffeine there, hummingbird boy. We'll skip that. We'll just do a flat notch. That's really deep. I'm liking how that looks. Really getting in there, taking a lot of wood out.
I mean, you haven't mentioned it, but you know, one thing I noticed is what I like about that knife is it's in that little sweet spot of a size where you can put it on your belt and not notice it, but it's big enough to do bigger things. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would call this a main knife. I mean, it's not exactly as big as my knife. I mean, I wanted my main knife to be a pretty big knife because I wanted it to do a lot of bigger things and then be accompanied by a smaller knife like this. But I mean, this is that right in between, you know, perfect little bushcraft size to do pretty much everything that you want. Let me put that stick in. I like to do this notch again when I'm testing knives, because when I'm testing a knife, I'll roll the blade, and if I roll that edge, that tells me what kind of retention it's going to have. It's kind of another test of the knife itself. Kind of a beefy tip, not really greatest for the detail work, but it's getting in there. Decent little square notch. Wood's kind of busting apart, but we get the point. Square-ish notch.
Square-ish notch. I could kind of work on it a little more, but it's not important. I just want to see what that edge is going to do. And really, to be honest with you, we haven't taken anything off the edge. It's still ripping sharp. When you're working with tenders like this that you have actually produced yourself, they can be a tad bit stubborn. That's alright though. Yeah, it might be a little wet actually.
Well, we did get that dead fall off the ground.
Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, it's a little damp.
Heat it up.
Oh, voila.
We get the point.
Yep. I haven't been out in the woods in a while. I had to prove that I still had it, I guess, huh? Yeah, if you guys don't know, if you haven't seen me on my channel in a while, I will go ahead and explain. I just completely wrecked my ankle about 2 or 3 months ago, so just now repaired, back to over the therapy out of the cast and all that stuff, and soft cast. Braces are gone. I'm ready to get back out here.
Let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I also talked to Mobley today. They changed his work schedule like drastically. He kind of like disappeared too.
Yeah.
It's like, where's all the bushcrafters at?
Yeah,
you know?
we got
y'all got to work.
Yeah, I've been doing 14, 16-hour days plus, you know, dealing with the ankle and all that stuff, so haven't had very much time. But I'm back.
At least it matches your shoulder now.
Yeah. Shoulders wrecked, back's wrecked, ankles wrecked. I'm like 80 out here. Sometimes I feel like it too. All right, so not only for, you know, adults and things like that, this knife is pretty good for kids. Go ahead and draw that out. You know, Connor was messing with this a little bit out in the woods, and he really liked it. And, you know, he's experienced with knives. You know, he doesn't use knives that have finger guards and things like that. You know, if that's something that you're worried about as far as children in the woods are, you know, that's something. But, you know, for a child in the woods, this is a knife that's pretty good for that as well. Maybe for starters and things like that, but if your kid's pretty proficient in the woods, this would be a knife that would be okay for them as well. But, you know, my ending thoughts on this knife is, you know, it's kind of in the middle between absolutely budget and pretty expensive. You know, it's like 70 some odd dollars on, what's that website we seen it on?
Knife Center.
Knife Center. So we seen it on Knife Center for like 70. It's not too horribly bad. You know, it's a full tang knife, really comfortable, really ergonomical, you know, nice steel, 1095 steel, all the other, you know.
When you got a good enough factory sheath that you don't need to go immediately resheath it.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is great. It's not going anywhere.
It's a nice looking leather sheath.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, this is a really nice leather sheath. You know, that's money right there. That's detail work. That's not cheap, you know. But, you know, so what I would think is, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with the sheath and the knife itself. The knife is very comfortable. If, you know, I always do the positives and negatives. If it was me, like I said, the grind would come down further. It would come all the way down to the throat, or almost down to the throat, a lot more, and that thing would go. That just not necessary for me. Other people like those little aesthetic nuances, not me. But like I said, the knife is very good, handled very nicely, and if, you know, you're looking for a knife in that range, $70 knife, this is something that I could definitely say would be good. Alright guys, this has been William Myers, Mantis Outdoors. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the knife presentation. If you did, click and like and subscribe down below. It helps me out a lot, helps the channel out a lot. Also, what helps the channel out a lot is going to my store at mantisoutdoorsllc.com/shop. Go in there, there's the Amazon store, shop in there. Helps contribute to the channel and me as well. Alright guys, well thanks for all your views, comments, and support, and hopefully we'll see you out in the woods.
Bye.